Okay, so just today's playlist is playlist number 3. First song is the Red Strings Club, and we'll get started at a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and you can press your buttons. Start with a little centering breathing on this very cold morning. So sit up nice and tall. Settle yourself in however you feel that works for you. I like to take my inner thighs and draw them out. I like to then snuggle a little bit into what I'm sitting on. Like the cat. Remember the cat in the Bugs Bunny commercials, the cat and dog, and the cat would sit there and just kind of claw her way into the dog so she could find comfort. I do the same thing with my little meditation pillow. Start to feel yourself slightly leaning back into space. So we're taking our hips, which are usually a little forward towards the thighs, and we're giving them a little space. And as we do that, notice your abdominals have to work a little harder. And we're leveling off the pelvis. So the pelvis and the sacrum are starting to move from a slanted position more to a neutral position. And you can do the same thing with the head as we just did with the hips. Usually the head is a little forward. So as we draw the ears back, of course it doesn't contract the abdominals the same way, but it does open the chest up a little bit more. And if you want to close your eyes, if closing your eyes works for you, do so and start to feel just the breath moving in and out through the nose. And then start to notice the difference between the inhale and the exhale. So we get lost in our breath, kind of focusing on the subtle differences. And then we can keep going. So we notice the subtle difference as we draw in, feeling the nose widen a little bit. This cool air draws in, fills up the back of the throat, down into the windpipes, filling up the ribs, filling up the lungs. And then we release it, feeling the lungs kind of draw back towards each other, drawing the air out, feeling the breath moving out again through the nose, this time warmer, this time a little bit more moist. And notice as the lungs fill up, we can also start to feel the belly fill up. And just how much can you fill up here? Can you feel your belly fill up and also the pelvis kind of pressing down into whatever you're sitting on? Can we feel the breath moving into the back side of the body as much as we can feel the breath moving into the front side of the body? And as we check in with ourselves, just noticing how we're doing today. Notice if there's any areas in the body calling out for a little work, a little special attention. We'll start this morning with a little bit of Kapalabhati, so a little breathing practice, create a little bit more warmth through the belly, creating a little bit of a fire in us because it is so chilly. So Kapalabhati is a breathing practice. We know it, we're familiar with it. It's a staccato breath of a through the nose, and as you exhale out with that, feel your belly button drop back towards the spine and maybe a little bit up towards the ribs. And we just focus on the exhales and the inhales will come. And we're gonna do 2 sets, and we'll do the first set will be 30, the second one gonna be 60. So after the finish of the breath, we're gonna take a nice big, inhale, and as we exhale, you can just draw everything out. You can fold forward a little bit and see how long you can hold the exhale with no breath in, so a little retention of the breath. As we start to feel the need to breathe again, just breathe again. So let's start that. We're going to take a nice big inhale. Exhale it out through the mouth first. And then an inhale again. And then exhale through the nose. Now just a half of an inhale, and we'll begin. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale it all through the mouth. You can fold in on yourself and just feel yourself kind of in this absence of breath, in this space of in between. When you need to breathe again, just start to roll yourself up on the inhale. And take a moment just to notice all those new kind of interesting sensations that the breathing practice brings. All right, do one more set. So we'll do this time a set of a double set. So it's a set of 60. And you may notice here that it creates a lot of work in the belly to the point where it's like, wow, I feel my muscles working. It's like, yes, isn't it great that you can do a breathing practice that works your abs? Perfect as that. Yes, do this every day and you will have a belly that you can wear a bikini with. How perfect. So cross your legs the other way. Let's just, and also you may notice a Kleenex is handy, especially after this second set. So all of those things, just that idea is exactly what this is supposed to be doing. It is a cleansing practice. We are letting go of things that we no longer need. Mucus around the nose is one of them. So taking a nice big inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale again. Exhale through the nose. Little sip of breath. Begin. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Start to fall in on yourself. Hold here, noticing yourself in this space of absence. And when you're ready, you can start to roll yourself back up again. Feeling the bringing in of air and all the delight that brings to the body. Beautiful. All right. Okay, so that should have warmed you up a little bit. This next one is for the wrists and it's no fun, but we're going to start with a little. So The idea of this one is palms out, shoulders or hands, wrists pretty much lined up with the shoulders, but a little lower so that the heart doesn't have to work so hard. And then press the hands into this, this stretch, this extension. And we're trying to create a pretty much a right angle. And if you are feeling here like a nastiness in the fingers, arms nice and straight, elbow straight, then yeah, you're doing it right. Okay, and it's tough. Notice how tension starts to creep into the shoulders, wanting to lift them up. So collarbones wide, heart lifted. And if you have like a, one spot that's really feeling the nastiness, I get it usually around middle ring finger of my right hand. No surprise, because that's the arm, the hand that I work more. I actually imagine the energy of that sensation just sliding out through my fingertips like I'm magic. Then I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to bend my first set of knuckles, drawing the pads of the fingers into the knuckles. Take the thumbs, hug them in, and then start to reach the knuckles forward and then down. And again, lots of interesting sensations come here. And we're going to start to lift them up. So just follow that same routine all the way back up. And then start to take the knuckles back into the first position and then the fingers release. Let's do that again. Ooh. Now, all the way back up again. So the first couple times I did this, I had real trouble getting the fingers from this position to here without it like causing a little grief in the hand. So just notice if that's happening to you, then do this a little bit more. Like do this twice a week, and then let's do some circles. One, and you can take the arms down to the side now. And then switch directions. One direction, the second direction is not as easy as the first one. Beautiful. And then release. And give the hands a little shake. Excellent. Okay, let's come on to our hands and knees now. And here, we're gonna come into a tabletop position and just start to lean a little forward. So this is the cool thing. So in this position, if your shoulders are a little bit more forward than your wrists, and it feels a little uncomfortable, but certainly not half as uncomfortable as this one, which is less of a crease, because this is an active stretch, whereas this is a passive stretch. So an active stretch is always a little bit more work because the muscles have to rely on themselves to get themselves here. Here, the weight of your body can help. All right, as we exhale, we're going to just start to lean back. And we're going to take the ring fingers off the mat. And then inhale, come forward, keeping the ring fingers up. And come forward. And you can tap those fingers. Inhale, come back, the ring finger still up. Place that finger down, take the middle fingers up. And come forward. And notice as you come forward, there's a lot of work that has to be done to keep the fingers up, tap them down. And then all the way back. Middle fingers come down, ring fingers lift up. Even more challenge as we come forward to keep those fingers lifted. Neat, huh? And then back down. Fingers down. Pinkies now lift up. Pinky fingers are a lot easier. And then down. Now we'll do the thumbs. So lift the thumbs up. Come forward, And let's do some circles with the thumbs. The back of the neck be long here. Collarbones wide, so we're not hunching because this is work. Switch the thumb circles in the opposite direction. Beautiful. And then plant those hands down, curl the toes under, and slide back, stretching the toes forward. Inhale, come on up. And now we're in tabletop position. Start to do some circles around the wrists. Now, if you find this really a lot of work, you can walk your knees a little bit more forward so there's not as much weight in the wrists. But if it feels okay, stay in your typical tabletop. Beautiful. And then we're going to just come and slide and come and sit on our knees, or where I'm going to sit is on a block. So, placing a block between my thighs and having a seat on it. Okay. Take the arms out. Turn the palms up. Exhale, turn them down. And then back up and palms face up. Thumbs back. And then all the way around, thumbs down. Back up, palms facing it. And we're going to take our right hand and just give ourselves, wrap it underneath our left and give ourselves a hug. See if you can grab hold of your shoulder blades. If not, just hold on to the tops of the shoulders. We're going to inhale, lift the elbows up. And as we exhale, as we round down, feel your hands kind of drawing the shoulder blades off the spine, off the back. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, round in. So if sitting like this doesn't work for you, you can, of course, come up. Last time. And then as we inhale and lift up, we're going to just draw our elbows over towards the left a little bit and open up the collarbones wide. So feel that big stretch through the back right ribs. Beautiful. And then try to make a circle. Drop the elbows down towards the floor. And around and up. And do 3 circles. And then switch directions. Move slow. Beautiful. We'll stretch the arms up. Take the left arm down, stretch the right arm up and over. And you can look up or down depending on how that feels in the neck. Beautiful. Inhale, come all the way back up. Press the palms up. Exhale, stretch them down. And up. And flat. Thumbs back behind you. Thumbs down forward. Back behind you, and then we will wrap our left arm underneath our right and give ourselves a hug. Here again, trying to hold on. See if this version, you can get the fingertips to the shoulder blades and not coming up to the tops of the shoulders again. Lifting the elbows up towards the sky. Exhale, drawing the elbows down towards the belly button, feeling the shoulders roll off the spine. Inhale up. And exhale down. Last time like that. And And then inhale, lifting up and drawing the shoulders or the elbows out to the right, getting those collarbones to widen. Holding, feeling the breath moving into the back left rib cage, back left lung. And then some circles with the elbows. Down and around. Nice and slow. Beautiful. And then switching directions. Excellent. Stretch the arms up. And we'll stretch over towards the right. Looking up at that hand in the air or down. Excellent. And then coming all the way back up. Just taking a moment just to notice all that new space we've developed in our chest, and then we're going to come onto our hands and knees again, coming into cat and cow this time. So cat and cow, we're going to start with a little bit of shoulder work first. So just feel the shoulders, press the floor away from you. Feel the shoulders roll forward. And then feel the shoulders lift up towards the sky. Press the shoulders down towards, or press the hands into the floor, feel the shoulders roll down towards the wrists. Inhale, feel them lift up towards the ceiling. And then see, let's press them down and up and around. So start to feel your shoulders rolling in a nice circle. See how that feels. And then pressing into the floor, let's round through the shoulders and then continue to round through the mid-back, through the lower back, through the sacrum. Let the head and the tailbone drop down away from each other. Breathe here. Feel a little space in the back, almost as if you're trying to create more and more space between each vertebra. And then start to move from the tailbone. We're going to lift the tailbone up, keeping the shoulders as is at first. And then keep rolling through. See if you can articulate through the spine. Rolling through now the low back, the mid back. Until you start to get towards the upper back and the shoulders lift up towards the sky and reach the heart through the arms. Reaching the head and the tailbone away from each other on an arc. Feel the upper arms draw back. And then here again, we're going to just take a moment or two noticing the feeling of the spine kind of as it compresses in on itself. And in this position, keeping the heart reaching through the arms as if it's trying to walk through the doors, start to drop the tailbone down. And then again, moving one vertebrae at a time as you roll yourself through towards cat pose again. And each time you do this, try to slow it down a little bit more so that you can really feel as if you are actually getting a little sensation through each and every vertebrae on its own. Here again, we come into cat pose, and we'll start to roll the tailbone up as we roll through to cow again, nice and slowly. Now, if your forearm or your wrist bother you, you can come down onto your forearm and do the same work. Either the hands planting down or the palms facing each other. So just taking off my socks here. Let me just get going. And now everybody come down onto their forearms. And melt the heart and feel the upper arms drawing back behind you. Let's plant the hands. We're going to take our left knee a little forward. We're going to slide our right leg back. And then see what happens with the right hip. If it starts to splay out to the right, can you draw that hip down towards the floor? You want to lift or curl the right toes under and lift them for an extra little stretch through the leg. Feel the right kneecap lifting up towards that right hip. Press out to the heel. Lengthen from the heel out to the crown of the head. Breathe. And then tap that knee down, unplug that back foot, and then slide the knee up. And we'll slide the left leg all the way back. You can start with the foot down, and then as you get comfortable, both hips facing down, you can curl the back toes under. You can stretch the left leg straight. One more breath here. And then we're going to slide back. So tap the knee down, slide back. You're going to move to the first side again. And this time take your hands back so that they line up with your knees. Loop the shoulders. And again, kind of moving one vertebrae at a time from the tailbone all the way up. Roll yourself up into a little cobra, little pigeon prep. Here you can just start to rock around a little bit from hip to hip. Using your breath as your way to explore, especially as you move into, so as I drop my right hip down towards the floor, there's a lot of sensation there. And I know if I'm breathing well, I'm okay. And I'm not holding here, or you can hold as you explore, but keep that breath moving. So maybe you can hold the physical body, but not the breath. Okay. Slide yourself back down, touch the head down, roll up 2 more times. Inhale, roll up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Beautiful. Let's slide our hands back forward. That'll give us a little balance. We're then going to slide our right leg forward, and we'll slide our left leg back. Slide the hands, line them up with the knee, loop the shoulders, and again, as you start to roll up, can you roll up one vertebrae at a time? Here you can rock yourself around a little bit from side to side. Coming back through center, roll yourself down. Inhale, roll yourself back up. Exhale, roll down. And inhale. Beautiful. We're going to slide back down again, slide the arms forward. And slide that left leg back. Now, last one. Palms together, not fingers together, just palms like in a namaste at the heart. But with the fingers uncrossed so that they don't clench. Let's take the right leg back. Press the forearms into the floor, reach the heart forward, and take the left leg back. Take the right leg forward, and then bring it back. Left leg, and back. Right leg, and back. Now you can continue that way, or you can just hold here in your forearm plank for the next 4 counts. So right leg back and left leg back. Left leg back and then right leg back. Beautiful. We'll tap the knees to the floor, tops of the feet now, palms out, and roll yourself up into Sphinx pose. And as you come into Sphinx pose, feel the tailbone reach towards the heel, press the hands back and roll the heart a little bit more forward. Slide the left arm forward and let's roll over onto our left side. We're going to take our legs now and bend them into a position like a collapsed chair. Actually, we're going to take that left arm out to the side. Okay, bring our palms together. So wrists are lined up with your shoulders, knees are lined up with your hips, ankles are lined up with your knees. So we've created that fallen down chair position. So let's take the top arm and we're going to slide it up over the head. From here, you can start to roll back onto your shoulders. Try to get that top shoulder down towards the mat. And if it feels okay, you can add the arm, reaching the arm all the way over. So again, it's lined up, wrist to wrist. And then start to slide that top arm back over and roll yourself all the way back into position number 1. Bring the arm over the head. You can stay here. You can start to roll the shoulders down. So your move may just be this, trying to get into that upper back twist. If the shoulder moves, you can roll it. Try to keep that back of the top hand on the floor the whole time. So don't lift it up. That creates uncomfortable. So if it's not working, that you can keep the back of the hand down. Just play with keeping that shoulder, drawing that shoulder down. Eventually, it will allow the hand to stay on the ground. And if it is on the floor, let's do this another 3 more times. Up and over, inhale. And back. And 2. And back. And here's our last one. We're going to roll all the way up and over and hold here. So even if your hand is over the head, just hold, keep drawing that shoulder down. We're going to take the top leg lifted up. Both arms. And then we're switching to the second side, which I will turn around so I can see you. But now that you know what we're doing, you don't have to turn around and see me. Just so we start again, make sure that you're lined up. You don't want the heels in, you want to keep that nice right angle with the legs. And take that top arm, reach it over the head. So to roll over onto that shoulder, and that might be everything. And if it is, stay here. It's a big stretch. If the arm can slide all the way down, then do it. And then slide it all the way back up. And over. Again, inhale. Either staying up here, dropping the shoulder down, or the shoulder comes down as we reach the arm all the way back and into the super twist. Up and over. Keep going. We'll do 3 more now. 1. Stay with your breath. Okay, 1 more. And this time as we come into that position, we hold. We take the top leg, we lift it back up. We'll bring both knees up. And draw the knees into the chest. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, press the lobe or the mid-back into the mat. And then let's press those legs away, coming up into this same position, but legs up in the air. So again, we don't want the knees drawing in, we want the knees and the ankles lined up. Press the low back deeply into the floor. Belly in a lot. Let's take those arms up. So again, we're doing the bird dog, but upside down. So we're going to take the right leg out and the left leg, right leg out, left arm out, stretch them away from each other. Try not to move the opposite arm and leg. And then we'll drop back in. Let's do 4 more like that. Inhale away. Exhale, draw it in. Don't let that low back come off the floor. Press it down. If it means that the arm and leg can't go as far, that's fine. That's 3. We got 2 more. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Come back and just take a break. Rock around a little bit. And do big circles with the knees together. Coming back up into this position. Also notice that the knees are coming towards the chest and push them away. Again, it just encourages more abdominal effort. And keep pressing that mid-back hips into the floor. We're going to take our right arm and left leg now and stretch them away. Inhale, exhale, come back through center. 4, 3, 2. Keep that right side down. And last one. Beautiful. Draw the knees in and circles the other way. Beautiful. Lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Actually, let's hold on to one. We'll kick the other leg straight, and you can roll yourself up. And we'll come all the way now into a downward facing dog. And just set your hands, set your legs. As the hands press down, feel the whole body stretch up towards the sky. Feel the upper outer arms drawing back. Feel the collarbones widen. Make sure that the head is comfortable and soft. Let's start to bring the heels down towards the floor. Maybe lift the toes up and give them a wiggle. Beautiful. Coming forward. So cat tilt in the shoulders. Create a lot of power here as we come forward. Press out to the heels. Lengthen the heels away from the head as you come into plank. And then inhale, bring the hips all the way up and back. Let's take the right leg forward towards the outside, so the pinky finger of the right hand. And we're going to drop the left knee to the mat. So you can turn your left hand out to the left a little bit. And you can take your right hand onto the thigh. Feel your back knee rooting down your left knee and reach the crown of the head a little forward. And then as if you're opening up a book, the inner right thigh is moving to the right and the left ribs are moving to the left. And you can stay here, you can start to roll maybe to the outside of that right foot for a little different spot in the hip. In the inner groin. Keep breathing again. We know that we're fine when we're breathing. We're exploring. And then coming back through center. Let's turn the left hand back to face forward. And here you can just rock a little bit back and forth. And if you need blocks here because the hamstrings are tight, then heck, use some blocks. Make this pose comfortable so it's doable, so that it makes you feel like you're accomplishing something, which of course you then are. And let's just stretch back for a second and start to rock the toes out to the right, back in and out, just feeling that movement of the thigh bone in the hip socket. Reaching the heart forward. Beautiful. We'll inhale, come back forward. And release the blocks to the side. Lift that back leg up. We're going to make our way back into downward facing dog. Stretch. And again, we'll pedal out the legs here a little bit. And drop one knee as the other heel comes down. You can even wag the tail over to that side. Move the second way, same thing. And then we'll look forward. We're going to take the left leg all the way forward towards the outside of that left hand. We'll take the right hand a little out to the side, maybe turn it out a little bit. Left hand to the inner thigh. As we open up, we're peeling the inner left thigh out to the left and the right ribs over to the right. Keep breathing. You can stay just like this, or you can take it a little deeper by rolling to the outside of that left foot, karate chopping it back towards the back heel. Excellent. And then we'll come back through center. Grabbing your blocks as you start to rock the leg back and forth. Stay with your breath here. Feel it out. And then staying back, root that foot down, reach the heart forward, and you can just stay or you can start to rock that leg a little back and forth. So by the way, just to note, the movements that we have here should always feel as if they're doable. If you feel like you have to push your way through it, then don't do it. Then there's not a reason to bully yourself ever. All right, so we're going to press that foot down. And this time, as we push down to the left foot, you can use your blocks ahead of you to slide yourself forward and come into a forward fold. And let the head drop. Take a look at your feet. Make sure that the feet are facing forward, about hip width apart. Drop the belly to the thighs. Feel the tailbone drop down and fold. And then we're going to start to roll ourselves up nice and slowly. Again, trying to move through one vertebrae at a time. Once you get up, stretch the arms up over the head. And we're going to slide our hands down towards the heart. Heart up into the hands. Keep the heart lifted and release the hands, coming into mountain pose. Arms nice and energized, crown of the head lengthening up and away from the floor, which is rooting down. Soften through the inner groin. Feel the inner thighs kind of spinning slightly back behind you, and then feel the tailbone drop towards the floor, not underneath you. Heart lifts. We inhale, we're going to take the arms up. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward. Hands are going to slide to the heart, to the thighs as we come into a flat back. Hands will come to the floor, and we're going to take that right leg back behind us. You can drop that knee to the floor. You don't have to, of course, but let's sweep ourselves up into a lunge. As we exhale, let's spin that right foot behind us, and we'll come into this version of Warrior Two on our knee. And just a little inner groin stretch, pull the legs towards each other, start to sink the hips towards that heel. And then inhale, come back up. Do that 2 more times. Exhale, tip. And inhale up. Last time. Exhale, tip. Inhale up. Now let's turn that front foot. So we're coming into gate pose. You can take your left hand onto the thigh, take the right arm up. And from that right knee, reach up through the right hand and feel the stretch coming through the waist, not from the shoulder. Feel that your underarm hollow a little bit, so the upper underarm is kind of reaching forward, shoulder stays on the back. And then let's start to reach it up and over. So again, it's a big side stretch here. Your hand, your left hand, can drop down. I have issues placing it on the knee, although this is the pose, only because we tend to push into the knee, and I don't want to do that. So you can keep your hand here if it's nice and soft. Lean yourself back, reach the heart up towards the hand in the air. Breathe. Excellent. We're going to come back up. And this one's fun. So you're going to reach the left hand forward to take the right arm down towards the floor. Nice and slowly. And here we are in the beginning phases of Vastasana. Let's plant that right hand to the floor. Again, if you want to block here, you can use a block. I'm going to take the left arm now over the head. Nice big stretch. Feel the stretch here from the left toes all the way through the hand again, but it's in the waist that most of the stretch. Right around here is the brunt of that stretch, and it should feel nice. The heart reach up towards that hand in the air. Big breaths. And then we're going to come out of this. We're going to drop our hand to the floor. We're going to walk ourselves all the way around to the front of the mat. Excellent. Once again, we sweep up. And we'll touch our hands down, stepping that back leg forward and fold. I'm running around to the other side of the mat. You don't have to. You're folded. You can't tell. I should have just not said anything, and you would have said, hey, how did she do that? Lengthen into a flat back. Exhale, fold. We'll take the hands to the mat. We'll take our left leg back behind us. Drop the left knee to the mat. Inhale, we're going to sweep up into a lunge. As we exhale, we're opening our hands into a Warrior Two, and we'll keep standing that left foot so it's back behind us. If your arms are tired, you can rest them as we come forward. We're dropping the hips towards our front heel. The front heel is drawing back towards the back leg. And then inhale, lift back up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. So it's a nice stretch through the inner groin here. This leg is active, so as you pull the shin back, feel here how strong that quad muscle feels. And then lift up. And we'll spin that foot so it's now we're coming into gate pose. Right hand can drop, left arm is up. Look at how sunny that sun coming through that window where my fingers are. Wow. Lengthen here. As we exhale, we're going to stretch up and over towards the right. Feeling the stretch through the left waist. Pull the right foot back towards you. Reach the heart up towards that hand in the air. Breathe. We inhale, we're going to come back up. And as we reach out through the right arm, that slows us down tremendously. So keep reaching out all the way until that hand finds the floor. And then once it does, flatten the palm to the floor, pull that right leg back towards you, and you can reach the right arm over your head again, feeling a super duper stretch through the whole right side. Notice if your left shoulder is up at the ear, and if it is, drop back down and feel the bicep roll towards the fingers. Excellent. Take that hand back down to the floor, and we will crawl ourselves all the way back around. Inhale, we'll finish it with a nice little flourish. And then both hands to the floor as we step the back leg forward. And fold. Inhale, roll yourself up. Plant the feet, stretch the arms up as you feel the tailbone reach down towards the mat. And let those hands slide through the heart. Heart up into the hands as you inhale. Keep the heart lifted, release the hands. Take a moment to just be here. All right, so we're gonna now take our right leg, so let's do our balance here. So as we kind of settle, let's take our hands to our hips and just settle those hips down. Feel the weight of our body connect into the floor, create such a major foundation that the only thing that you're feeling is this upward feeling motion of the head. And then transition the weight from the right leg into the left. And as the inner left thigh drops towards the mat, feel the inner right thigh lift up towards the ceiling. Soften through that standing leg. If you want, you can hold on to the back of the leg and pull it back and feel both inner thighs spin back. And hold here for a second. If you want a little bit more work, bend into that standing leg so it becomes more unstable. Beautiful. Let's take that right leg now. We're going to reach it back behind us. So take it easy. Reach the head forward. Reach that right leg back. Far, far, far. Plant it. Inhale, sweep up into a lunge. Open up warrior two. And let's do that movement again. We'll stretch the right leg straight. We'll lift the arm up. And as we exhale and come down, feel yourself pulling the legs towards each other as the hips drop. Inhale up. And exhale, arms come down. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Now this time, as we inhale, we're going to lift the arms up and we're going to spin that front leg to face forward. Come into five-pointed star. Reach the arms out. Pull the outsides of the legs towards each other so much that you feel your inner thighs active and this energy drawing the pelvis up through the crown of the head. Keep that as you hinge forward, coming into a forward fold. And again, you can use your blocks here. Lengthen into a flat back. We're going to take our right hand and slide it up the inside of our left arm. Trace both collarbones and lift that right elbow up towards the sky. Crown of the head reaching away from the tailbone. Let's do just circles with the elbow. Big circles. 1, 2. Hand is still on the elbow, or sorry, on the shoulder. And then switch directions. 1, 2, and 3. And lift that elbow up towards the sky, lengthen, and if it feels okay, you can reach that right arm up. Exhale, we'll take that hand back down and fold. We'll bend the back knee, pull the front leg towards you. Inhale, come back up, and we'll move to the second side. Crawl yourself back to the front of the mat. And if it feels okay, straighten that front leg. Hug the hips towards each other, reach the heart forward. Bend that front knee, put lots of weight into it, slide the right leg forward, and we fold into a forward fold. Inhale, roll yourself up. Press down to the floor, stretch the arms up over the head. As you root down, feel that lift, and we'll slide the hands to the heart again. All right, so again, you can start with your hands on the hips. So taking the time to set up the second side as much as we set up the first side. So this weight drops down through the hips, we lengthen up through the crown of the head. The inner right thigh is rooting down towards the floor and taking the weight of the left leg so the inner left thigh can start to lift up. And you can keep your hands at your heart. You can take your hands to the thigh. Pull both inner thighs back, whatever position you're in. And you can stay here, make sure that the knee is not locked. If you want a little bit more challenge, start to bend into that standing leg so that the muscles have to hold you as opposed to alignment. That's the whole thing about alignment. If you're in proper alignment, the body is not so heavy. As we move out of alignment, the muscles have to work harder. That's why if you've got a handstand, if you're in the proper alignment, it's not really that much work. All right, from here, we're going to start to reach the head forward as we take that leg back. Stay low if you've got balance issues. And reach that leg as far back as you can. Plant it down. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, we'll open up and into warrior two. Wow, that sun is just so bright today. Stretch up. And exhale, we'll slide back down. Two. Make sure as you come down, your right knee is tracking the center of the foot. The feet are pulling towards each other. Hips are dropping down. Last one like this. And three. As we inhale and come up, this time we're going to turn that right foot to face the edge of the long edge of the mat. We're coming into a 5-pointed start. Pull the legs towards each other. If you want this time, you can interlace the hands behind the back. So again, this is a little bit more challenging and means that you've got to put a lot more weight into the legs. So really pull them towards each other. Feel the collarbones widen, the upper outer arms draw back. And as the head starts to drop, the inner thighs are spinning back behind you. If it's too much, of course, release the hands. And then back of the neck gets long as we come down. We can take the arms if it feels okay, up over the head. Collarbones wide. Arms lifted. Legs drawing towards each other. Feel that lift up in the pelvis. And then we're going to release the hands down towards the mat and come into a flat back. Head and tailbone reaching away from each other. Legs still active, still feeling that pelvis lift. We're going to take our left hand, slide it up the inside of the right arm through both collarbones and hold on to the shoulder. Feel the heart still lengthening upwards. Try not to let the right hip follow you around. Try to make it more into the belly button. And then circles with that left elbow. 1, 2, 3. Switch directions. 1, 2, and 3. You want to lift that arm up, you can. And then bring that hand back down towards the floor. Draw all the way over towards the back leg. And then front leg. And the back leg. And then front leg. Beautiful. Crawl yourself back to the front of the mat. Plant both hands, step the leg back. You're in downward facing dog. So the inhale, we're going to come forward into plank. We're going to tap the knees down, tap the tops of the feet down, bend the elbows, and start to pull the hands back, reaching the heart forward, trying to lengthen the tailbone and the heart away from one another as the hips come down. And then slowly rolling yourself into this little mini cobra pose where you can take your arms off the mat. So press the pelvis into the floor, draw the belly up, press the feet into the floor and see if that helps lift the arms up a little bit higher. Back of the neck long. Notice that the belly is still in. And then plant the hands down, roll yourself up. And then roll yourself all the way down. Hands together, forearms crossed. Rest on your forearms. You can even bring the toes together as you come into crocodile pose. Settle for a moment. Can you feel your breath expand so much that it starts to feel as if it's massaging your back? All right, so we're going to make our way back up. And just come into child's pose for a second. Knees can be wide. Just relax into it, forehead on the mat. And then we're going to make our way back up and just drop over onto your right side. Oops. Right side. Slide the legs out. Okay. Everyone's good? Excellent. Okay. Perfect. A little mermaid pose. So have your legs wide as your mat. And just drop both legs over towards the left. Press out through your inner heels. Start to slide the right hand a little back behind you and take the left arm and reach it up and over. Again, getting into that side. Now feel the heart starting to lift up towards that hand in the air. Your left buttocks here will probably not be on the floor. Mine is not. As we inhale, we're going to come all the way up. Plant the hand to the behind you and just stretch the other way. Beautiful. Coming back up. Flip. Right hand comes out, or left hand comes out, right arm lifts up and over, stretch. Try to lift that heart up. Inhale, come all the way back up. We'll place the right hand down and we'll stretch the left arm up. Notice it gets right into the back ribs again. Really enjoying that lately, kind of opening up the lungs band a little bit because it's so cold out. Beautiful. And then release. Bring the soles of the feet together now, coming into down angle. And take your hands back behind you to sit yourself up a little higher. Notice if your shoulders are up at the ears here. Try to, again, collarbones wide, side body long. And then see if you can do the same, stay the same position without your hands on the floor. So we didn't just shrink here, we stayed nice and tall. We're gonna slide our right leg in as we slide our left leg out. And let's take that leg all the way out to the side, pressing out through the heel. Toes are up towards the sky. Take the arms there and just start to fold forward. Keeping both sits bones on the floor, let's maybe walk our hands over towards that left leg. Feeling the stretch through the back, trying to get the right ribs to lengthen a little bit towards that foot. Heart is reaching towards the toes. There's length through the spine. Inhale, coming all the way back up. I'm going to slide that left leg back and in, switch the legs. Notice if your right toes are folding forward, and keep the toes reaching up towards the sky. Keep the sits bones down. Reach the heart up and away from the tailbone. Feel length through the spine. I love this, and again, always in these poses, in these forward folds, each inhale, I try to create a little space through the back. And then as I exhale, I'm trying to soften into that space. It's not a constant fight here. It's a little length, a little seeking, and then just being. Let's come up, we'll start to walk ourselves over towards that right foot, keeping the left sit bone down. Trying to reach the left ribs a little farther forward. Trying to lengthen the spine towards the toes. Excellent. As we inhale, we'll come back up. Last one, bring both feet together. And we'll just drop into a little bound angle forward fold. Interesting choice in this playlist. All right, we'll come back up and release. We'll come all the way to the floor now as we make our way into Shavasana. Oh, no wonder, this playlist is over. Okay, I just realized that myself because it keeps playing for me. Okay, so I will be adding to this playlist later on. But right now you can just relax. If you have some nice music, you can place it on or just lie in silence. I'm going to put on a little So feel yourself settling in, dropping down into the floor. Feel how nice the body responds to the breath at this point. Now that it's been so responsive throughout, notice the response as it softens. Breathe deep. Today's daily Om is called Giving Excuses. Excuses may seem like rational reasons for us not to do something, but if we're not careful, we can allow them to keep us from reaching our goals. Too often we accept our excuses as reasons why we cannot accomplish what we set out to do, and instead of finding alternatives, we give up. But if we can be honest with ourselves and take responsibility for our choices, we will begin to notice that we no longer give excuses. When we keep our minds focused on our goals, we find that excuses fade away in the light of our priorities, and issues become challenges that can help us become wiser and stronger. Sometimes we may give others excuses rather than be fully honest. We may think it's kind to tell someone we're willing to do something with them, whether work or play, but then we keep putting them off. This diverts our energy into keeping the truth at a distance while continuing a falsehood. But when we can take responsibility for our feelings and express them honestly, but gently, the other person is free to find someone who is better suited to accompany them, while we are free to pursue the things we like. When we can do this, our energy can be invested in building better lives and relationships. There's another way in which excuses rob us of energy, and that's in the power of our thoughts and words. If we find ourselves in a situation, for example, where we are being asked for a financial contribution, but we use the excuse that we can't afford it, we create and attract lack and limitation into our lives. The same goes for seemingly simple things like pretending not to feel well or any other false statement. We may think that excuses make things easier, but they complicate matters with smokescreens. When we can commit to our priorities, take responsibility for our choices, and communicate them honestly with others, there will be no need to make excuses, and we'll have much more energy to dedicate to all the things that we love. So you can begin to deepen your breath. As the energy starts to move through you, encourage it by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Stretch and yawn. Take your time here as you move through each spot, enlivening yourself, animating yourself. Feeling as you animate and the movements and the breath all together, the delightful feeling that you create for yourself as you begin to reawaken to your day. And then take some time on your side just to settle in and notice how you're feeling. And this is the best part of the practice, no work, all benefits. Take a moment here just to let this feeling sink in. This is why we keep coming back to our mats. And thank yourself for, again, making your way onto your mat. When you're ready, you can make your way up to seated and sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands to your heart, heart up into your hands. Taking a few nice big deep breaths and noticing there's more space here than there was at the beginning of the practice when we came into a breathing practice. Feel the breath kind of expanding all through the back side of the body, through the sides of the waist, into your hands, lifting it up and down as you inhale and exhale. With gratitude, taking a moment to offering our thanks to each other for being there, for motivation, and for, many other reasons we can be grateful for. I invite you to think of a few on your own. Just notice as you do, bring to mind a few of the things that you can be grateful for. how it does change the body, opens you up. From this place, space of grace, we end our practice, sending out with our thoughts of peace the sound Om, the universal sound of the world. Inhale. Big exhale through the mouth. Inhaling. As we let that feeling, that vibration connect us deeper to the floor, we remind ourselves our thoughts should be always filtered through our hearts, and so we bring our hands to our head as a representation of our thoughts and bring them back down to where they belong. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Paula.
you.